Trustee Brooks, you're muted.
Yeah, I got all these things popping up. Recording, I'm here. 100,000
Okay.
things. Okay.
Mayor Rudez.
Present, Madam Clerk.
Also present at this meeting, we have Village Manager Ernestine Beck Fulcom, Village Attorney James Wargo. Is there anyone else present other than Village Clerk D. Jones?
There's no.
Okay.
Okay. Roll call, Madam Clerk. You did that?
I did that.
Okay, let's do our Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag
of the United States
of
and to the republic
for which
for
is
which it stands,
one
one nation,
under God,
justice for all.
indivisible, with liberty
and justice for all.
Okay, I'll read our disclaimer. Thank you. It's muffled. It's muffled. It might be our internet signal for everyone. Pursuant to Governor Pritzker's Executive Order 2020-07, COVID-19, Executive Order Number 5 as amended, which suspends the requirements of the Illinois Open Meetings Act, requiring in-person attendance by members of a public body during the duration of the gubernatorial disaster proclamation. The members of this village board will not be physically present for the designated board meeting, but will instead be participating in the meeting through audio access using a virtual meeting platform. Public comments may be submitted in advance of the meeting to Village Clerk D. Jones at djones@university-parkil.com or by text message to 708-473-6201. All comments must be received by 5 p.m. the day before the meeting. In order to give proper consideration to all items on this agenda, the mayor will let participants in a debate and will close off protracted, repetitive, irrelevant, or abusive remarks. Public comments will be limited to a total of 30 minutes. Thank you. General public comments, Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir, we have a few. The first one I received actually on January 25th, which was the date of our last meeting, after I turned my computer off. I received it from Bridget Simmons Franklin, and it reads, Good evening, Mayor, Board of Trustees, and Clerk Jones. I am writing to address a comment that was previously made by a fellow resident. For years, I've been a huge advocate for speed bumps in our community. Too often, I have seen drivers speed at a very dangerous speed in our neighborhoods. It is very alarming when I witness cars driving 50 to 60 miles an hour down our residential streets. It is particularly alarming because I have young children that play outside, which at one point I had to limit my children to only play in the backyard because of the dangerous speeds that I have witnessed multiple times. I have seen it before, I have said it before, and I will say it publicly again. I want to thank Chief Wilson for taking my concern seriously and being proactive by placing speed bumps around the community with public works. It may not fully resolve the problem, but it does give me a sense of comfort. I understand that speed bumps may be a little inconvenient for some people. However, this is a matter of safety, not just for our children, but other drivers, pedestrians taking a walk, and or people exercising while riding their bikes. I ask that once the spring arrives, that you will please replace the speed bumps that you removed for the winter. Yes, The police officers are all appreciative for their service, but we all know that they cannot be in a million places at one time. Bridget Simmons Franklin.
Thank you.
Number, okay. Number 2, received February 7th from Vivian Covington at 4:42 p.m. Good evening, Clerk Jones and Board of University Park. I would like to ask the following. 1, was there a decision made from the judge regarding the water issues? Number 2, is there any reason why you guys are not acknowledging residents that have passed in the village of University Park? I understand you might not be made aware of everyone that has passed. However, there were residents that passed that were posted, and workers' families, members, coaches, and volunteers of the village. It is deliberate that not a moment of silence was given to these families. I asked before, and I'm hoping that you discussed it and will respond this time. Number 3, are sealed bids being posted for contracts for work of the village? If so, what paper and area are they being posted? Number 4, do we have a date for restoring the chief of police? Number 5, who is acting treasurer for the village?
Okay, Madam Clerk, what was that first one?
The first one.
By the way,
was
Jim
there-
Ellis is still our treasurer, just for the record. Jim Ellis is still our treasurer. That's
Okay.
one out the way. Number 1, I'm sorry.
Was there a decision made from the judge regarding the water issue?
Okay, there has not been a decision that was made. We were at the hearing as of yesterday, and it is continued until this Friday. So it's an ongoing, continuing battle in the courtroom. And also about the memorializing of people who died, there's no way, and all of our board would be glad to acknowledge everything. Since there was not a mechanism in place, we'll work collaboratively together to ensure that we can do as much as we possibly can to acknowledge those. That's a proper thing. Absolutely, no problem whatsoever. We'll get something in place, and we'll have something in place moving forward. What else was there? That's all I'm going to respond to. I'm finished with that one.
Okay. Okay. Number 3 was received from Gina Williams, February 7th at 4:53 p.m. Good evening, everybody. I just want to ask again how much longer this board can sit there and do nothing while our beautiful chief of police is on leave. What are the charges, and for how long is this administrative leave? I am not going to stop asking until she is brought back. How is it we continue to allow Ms. E full capacity for operating our village? I mean, she publicly lied about a donor for which there was none. She misused our funds with no regret and no board approval. Sexual assault against a female employee who had to be transferred to a whole different area. Yet, it's all good. Only 2 or 3 speaking up. Next, you will continue to accept all these bunk deals brought to the table for which you all continue to vote yea instead of nay. No one, with the exception of Trustee Brooks and Trustee Jenkins Bell, questioned how many bids were presented. Is it in the budget? Is this something that can benefit the residents? Will this affect our taxes? Why aren't we having a workshop? Or are there any hidden expenditures we should know about? This is how we ended up with an Amazon that isn't ours, a Kavana junkyard, and Central Steel. Mr. Good all but demanded a yes vote that night, and y'all all delivered. Shaking my head. Anytime someone wants something that bad, you should pull away and reconsider. Why the hurry? Then we have the Aqua situation, for which we have Trustee Lewis now in charge. Why? Trustee Brooks was doing just fine with it. I know she ran on this platform, but never took the bull by the horn. So can someone tell me what was the final results of the judge decision regarding our case? Are we having to pay for bad, unsafe water without 2 consecutive 6-month periods? That was not the original agreement. Is anyone fighting for us? I think not. And lastly, Clerk Jones, I find it funny you were concerned with that student's letter and perception at the last board meeting. But years ago, when Paula stood at the podium and expressed her disdain for the board's behavior and former chief of police, you didn't echo a word. You sat there and said nothing. Right is right and wrong is wrong under any administration. Don't pick and choose. It's funny how you have comments behind complimentary letters, but crickets behind constructive criticism. This is why the village is divided. It shows big time. Even with events only certain people know or only their children benefit. Just say it. Respectfully, Gina Williams.
I'll just respond to the water question, Madam Clerk. For the record, I have removed Trustee Brooks as working on the aqua water situation. It's a very conflicting situation, and it sends a very mixed message because you cannot be suing the village on one side and then representing us on the other side. So in the best interest of the village, we brought a non-unbiased new trustee in who has a platform and will be educated on behalf of the water situation. And I thank you, Trustee Lewis, for stepping up to the plate and working with me in this very awkward situation. Thank you.
Wait, excuse me, Mayor, may I be recognized?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to know, is it in our ordinances that allows you to decide what we are going to do as trustees and what projects we're going to have? And can you please forward me the information? Because if Trustee Brooks has been working on this since the inception of the water being contaminated, what makes you feel that you question the trustees to see if that is what we would like? All I'm asking is to be acknowledged. That's it. One vote. Each of us are worth 1 vote apiece. And we should, like we just voted to do something and we respected your request, we should be asked to do the same thing so we can respect each other's requests. That's all. So who is the one that, if you are a strong mayor, that is required, am I correct? But if this is a managerial form of government, when do we have a say so in what happens and who gets to do what? Now, my question is also, it's also, why weren't we told about the meeting that a trustee, Shirley Bowden, attended in reference to the commissioner giving us and allocating $460,000 out yesterday? Was it not a meeting? It wasn't a meeting? Oh, okay.
I have no idea on what you're speaking of, trustee.
Okay. Oh, well, it must be a mistake. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, it's a big mistake.
Okay, I said I apologize.
No. Mm-mm.
I said, oh, go there. But I just want to know how do we get to decide what project we get to do?
Well,
Since I worked at Stringley Legal Farm, am I going to have the opportunity to work the way I worked and the residents worked for the $600,000 that was allocated? Am I going to still be over that project, or are you going to decide that I can't have it either after I've knocked on doors and ran up and down hills to get this relationship built in Will County? So do I have your word that you're not going to pull me off of that project as well?
Well, let me ask him. I'll answer this way, trustee. I don't know who all has registered to go to Lobby Day down in Springfield, but there's an opportunity for each and every trustee to get some discussion points to go down and lobby for. And in our next board meeting, I would like to speak before our next board meeting. I'd like to speak to each one of you guys and basically come up with something that we're going to lobby for. So there will be a project. I know Trustee Lewis will be going into the infrastructure. Trustee Bowden will be going into the workforce development. Trustee McFadden will be going into the technology and senior services. Trustee Brooks, I'm going to ask him to look into law enforcement. There's a lot of programs and money for our community in that infrastructure bill. I'm sure that, and I forwarded to all of you guys. So you
what
guys
about me?
Opportunity. Excuse me, ma'am. When you guys get an opportunity, would you please look through it? I know you got it earlier today when I got it from the Congresswoman's office. So let's collaboratively work on something, and everyone can have a piece of this infrastructure bill so we can bring something home to the residents. Lots of opportunities for our community. And I know that Trustee Franklin has an interest in there, and he said he will speak with me later regarding that infrastructure bill. So if everybody's going to go, we can have a good collaborative team plan, go see our legislators, and we can actually do what we are elected to do, legislate for our community.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
Mayor,
sir.
I asked for a correction on that. Let's make something, you made a statement that was inaccurate. Let's make it, first of all, that I sued Mrs. E for legislative action that I see financial records, and that went through the Will County Court.
Yes.
Okay. Never did I go to deal with Kwame's office when it came to that. That was the Attorney General. That case was finalized by Judge Anderson, who wrote his final decision on the 16th of November, 2021. So therefore, there was never a conflict. Next, I didn't even know until closed session that I would not be dealing with the water, but I suspected when I was not getting any invites to the AG office. But once again, as a senior trustee on this board, I wish Karen Lewis the best at what she's going to do. And this is pretty much over when it comes to the water, at least from my perspective, than what we did. But I wish it would not be put out there. It was a conflict of interest. It was your choice. You did it. You don't owe anybody no explanation. You don't owe me no explanation. I don't want no explanation. And if somebody's asking for it, your choice, but I please ask that you please be accurate with the statement. The lawsuit was directed towards Miss E when it came to me receiving financial records, and that is dead and gone back in November.
Well, Trustee Brooks, for the record, Will County is also a part of that lawsuit, but I'm not going to go back and forth with you. And I got calls from the people that are lobbying for us and says they are very uncomfortable with you in that situation. And I don't want to go into public things. So that's that for the record. But the bottom line is we get our water solution resolved. I know there was an oversight committee prior to our arrival with this water situation. And when you on the board members, and I don't have any information, any notes, but I just know that this happened 26 days once we were in an office, and we've been fighting ever since, and we will continue to fight until we come out with the best outcome. There might be a difference of opinion, so we can talk about that, trustee. No problem whatsoever. And
But
no
just
slight.
would have felt better
no
if you
slight.
said thank you. It would have felt better if you said thank you before you kicked me to the curb. You know, said thank you. You know, I don't want to be feeling like some girlfriend that you know you done used and you know, come on.
Oh,
Be
trustee.
nice to me.
No, I'm always nice and considerate, but no, I'm not. I wasn't through with you. Absolutely, you were a great participant, and I would ask you on that sense, share what you have learned prior to with Trustee Lewis, so we can do this. All right, that's all. No problem
That
whatsoever.
makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, I would have loved to communicate with her. I just felt it should not have been done.
Please reassure
You
me.
know, you ghost me. Is that what the teenagers say? You ghost me.
Okay, all right.
And
Well,
I want to say something to Trustee Jenkins.
Yes, ma'am.
When you hear stuff and you think I've been somewhere, call me directly and ask me. You call me about everything else.
Okay, I sure will.
Accuse me. Don't accuse me
I
of doing something
apologize.
that somebody
did
brought you a
apologize.
lie and it's not true. I'm done
Okay.
with it.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Thank you.
Call me
Okay,
about anything else. You can call me about that.
I
Thank
sure
you.
will. Thank you.
okay, Madam Clerk.
I'm done.
I
Madam
would,
Trustees.
I would like to respond to the last paragraph of Ms. Williams' comments.
Please reassure me.
She might find it funny, and she might feel that it was complimentary, but the letter I read at the last meeting was from a 16-year-old high school student in our community. And what I took out of what the young lady wrote was a reprimand to this board
Official.
on how they should act, or the message they were sending to our young people and our future leaders, making them feel that it's okay to be disrespectful.
Trustee Jenkins, you need to mute.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
That it's okay to be disrespectful to your colleagues. But we have to think about what is true. And I did not see anything complimentary. I saw a crucial criticism that we as elected officials and the adults in this community should think before they speak and know that people are watching. Our kids or our future leaders. That's what I took from it. Not that the young lady was applauding the board for bad behavior.
Yeah, that's what I perceived too, Madam Clerk. Thank you.
So, and as far as what somebody else said years ago, who were part of an administration, there was nothing for me to say. I still applaud this young lady for pointing out the flaws in us, and we should still take a look at ourselves, stand before a mirror, and know that the world is watching us, and our future leaders must be respected, and we must respect each other. I don't back down from that. Okay.
And you know what? Just one final note, Madam Clerk. I'm so proud that we have an Amazon in our community, which will bring us real estate taxes, which will bring us jobs, which will create our workforce. I'm so proud today because I went to that village hall today and I signed that agreement for Carvana, which is history and land breaking news in University Park. For the last 50 plus years, this town has been existent. Our occupation and retail sales tax has been between $12,000 to $15,000 a year. And we have continuously beaten up our residents. Now we're going to have tax relief with a projected at the low 1.3 million in sales tax, 2.4 million in guaranteed real estate taxes, and an abundance of 600 plus jobs, which will spur foot traffic, economic development, there is a pattern and there's a way to get the things that we're desirous of. So I'm very proud to say that. And Ryerson Steel, when they leave Chicago, after being in Chicago for a 100-year based company, Lori Lightfoot's comment in Crane's business at Chicago, unfortunately, she left one of the anchors of the city of Chicago to build a new facility in the village of University Park, a 1 million state-of-the-art facility, which will create another 300 to 400 jobs in our community, and again, bring more economic growth and development. So the pattern is you create the workforce. Guess what happens when you create the workforce? Before you know it, the restaurants will come because every one of those workers are going to get breakfast, lunch, or dinner, somewhere to eat. Second of all, it's going to create an opportunity to build new housing. And housing was never planned for on Cicero. Housing was planned directly across the street from Governor State, in between the metro station and the golf course. So we're on path to make historic leaps in a short amount of time. And I applaud the administration who supports economic growth and understands the process. We're on our way, community. Taxpayers, it is our goal before it is over to ensure that you get a rebate back on your real estate tax. So we're going to continue to fight in the power, oppose what other folks say. We're going to do the right things because we are visionary people and looking forward. So thank you. That is my last comment regarding that. Let's get into this meeting, guys.
I
All
have,
right.
Mr. Mayor,
Okay.
I have two more. Number 4.
Oh, you got more comments. I'm sorry.
Number 4 is from John Grindler. It was received February 14th at 10:35 a.m. Greetings. I am writing today to ask about what progress the village has made in the monthly parking lots at the Metro University Park train station. Since the village has taken over ownership of these lots, can you tell me when the monthly parking will be available to the Metro commuters? Thank you.
Madam E, would you respond to that, please?
You're muted.
You're muted. You're muted.
You're still muted.
Okay. What we're going to do is we finally got the contract with Park Mobile, and that seems to be the strategy for all of the a majority of the towns that have Metro parking lots. Well, we finally got a contract with them today. We're going to send this to the board for the board to review, and what this will do, it will allow folk to pay mobile monthly and daily. Well, yeah, daily and monthly on that. And then those dollars will be transmitted into a special account that we're in the process of setting up once the board approves it. And we're going to hopefully try to get it to them this week, at least get it to the attorney so he could provide a resolution and get it on the agenda for next board meeting. But it wasn't so easy. There are some things that the village had to overcome, like, for example, get all the sanctioned documents showing transitions, and then we had to begin to fit it in our public works schedules to get it based on the snowstorm. And then we've done one major collection. We have another major collection that's going to be done today. There are boxes people manually have been paying in, and we've temporarily relinquished those individuals from getting tickets until we can get this in place. But some are trying still to pay with mobile park, but those Park Mobile, but the others are putting the money in the pay boxes. So We're doing it little at a time, but we're trying to undo what has been happening. We're trying to get us on a schedule of maintaining the lots. There's a lot of maintenance that has to be done. And generally what happens is it comes from monies that are gathered from parking or the use of the facility. We haven't budgeted any monies in the budget for this. So we're trying to merge some of the work activities of Public Works in order to sustain the parking lot. By the same token, since we made our major first collection, that will go into a special fund where we can begin to recycle those dollars for use in the parking lot to do major repair. And as you've been out there, you see that the location. Now, some of that I just want to mention to those is that we received a grant from Metra. Metra is getting together with the village. Their administrators and designers are getting together with the village and our engineer so we can share the cost on rehab. Currently, what we've gotten is through the Metra to agree to do some maintenance under the canopy, and the village will not have to deal with that. So what we're trying to do right now, until we can get all this in place, we don't want to encroach on areas that we legally cannot. So we finally got the full document in terms of pins, what we own, what our territory is, what our responsibility is. We picked up the keys and we're going to have some key changes. So there are a lot of inner working going on a daily basis with this. But to answer that individual question, as soon as the next board meeting, we hope this board will agree to approve Park Mobile to be our vendor for it to be paid, and we will continue to collect monies in the boxes.
Thank you very much, Ms. E.
And Ms.
Go ahead,
E,
trustee. I'm sorry.
most of the other stations are using Park Mobile as well. Also, the monthly parking, it seems no one's been parking over there anyway. We bringing that back because that side seems to be closed, and just the part over there, where you can park, and part of that is closed. So are we bringing the monthly parking back?
Yes, we are, and we're
That's
opening it up. Yes, ma'am. Yes, we are. And I am going to recommend, we have been researching all the other stations. We're the longest. We're at the end of the line. It takes longer for us to go to Millennium Station, and we're the least expensive. And so what we're looking at, there will be recommended changes for increases, not much, but there will be recommended changes for a slight increase to compensate for some of the cost increases. So
question, going down the stairs there where that big canopy and the big box and stairs are broken, are we now, that's on Metra?
Yes, that's what we're meeting to, because Metra is going to agree to repair that until we can get together. Okay. Yes, we got the $34.9 million, but they're also utilizing their funds because we have a match. So we're going to agree on who's doing what so we can maximize our monies for the rehab. But and they're giving us it a little at a time. The engineers, they want to see our plans. So they're funding that. They're putting a little at a time in our fund. It's not like we're getting lump sum, but they want to see our plans. And in order to do that, we're meeting with Metra and their design engineers so they can coordinate the efforts on the two.
Okay. Thank you, trustee. Thank you, Manager E. And just for the record, I would ask the board to consider in the future contracting that service and maintenance out from the Metro Station as we do other parts of the village for grass cutting and alleviate some of the additional burden on our Public Works Department. Food for thought.
No, that's the intention, Mayor. This is what we're hoping that the dollars received will do.
And the dollars that we receive can pay for it.
That's right. It'll be counter-cyclical dollars. Funds can be used to hire whoever, whatever. So that's what we're trying to do. And that's what the other stations do as well. They use those as counter-cyclical funds, and they don't bring in their public works, basically.
Yes, it pays for itself. Absolutely. Okay.
Also, I just want to tell Ms. E, when you guys are going over the plans or whatever, flooding is huge at our station.
Absolutely.
That was a huge concern for writers.
Absolutely.
So that's the plumbing,
That's one of the topics
construction
of
and
it too.
infrastructure is being looked at over there.
Absolutely. And that's the first thing Metro has indicated they're going to try to do for us until we begin to receive funding. Because they're looking at wanting some want the village to give them some land, very little, but to consider something like that so they could do some work in professionally. So we're going to talk about all of that, and then I'll bring all that to the board.
All right, thank you. So Metro riders, we're working extremely hard. A little turbulence taking off, but it will be a smooth flight and a very pleasurable Metro station to visit in the future. So thank you for your concerns. Is there one more, Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir.
All right.
This one is to Dorothy D. Jones, Village Clerk, dated Monday, February 14th, 2022, regarding outdone about Sonia Jenkins Bell public comments. I have been a resident for 15 years, and I have never experienced so much bad behavior within the last 10 years. It is my understanding that elected officials had to follow the law, but after reviewing the attachments, I am outdone. Please explain to me how no one has protected this young lady from trustee Sonia Jenkins Bell and her family. No one is upon the law. This contains about 4 other pages of pictures and comments. And I had asked the board, I had sent an email and asked the board if they felt that the remainder should be read in public. It seems to be irrelevant to village business. It seems to be a personal issue between Trustee Jenkins Bell and the writer. It also appears that someone took this from Facebook pages and sent to the village. I did not feel, and the language is extremely graphic. It's extremely vulgar. So I asked the board if they felt that the entire context should be read into the records. And I can say this, that this is a public document that was received. It will be on file in the clerk's office and available to the public should anyone request it. This is a board's decision as to whether the rest should be read into the records. I did send it to the board and asked for a response on how they felt we should proceed. I received 2 responses that felt that the first page was enough as long as we made available the entire contents. But again, this is a board decision.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Madam Clerk, thank you, because you did ask me, and yes, that content, whatever, I think we need to point to standing rule that the board prior to me coming in 2017 made it where respect does need to be given to the board. If someone would come up with the language that I seen that was in there, naturally the gavel should be hit, and someone should be walked away from the podium. If it's something like that, I do recommend, I did for that trustee, I gave my advice of what I would do because it was very graphic. And if it's something of that concern, I think the proper authority should handle it, not the board of trustees.
Yeah, you're not gonna deal with that. Absolutely.
No.
Wait,
No.
Go ahead, Madam Clerk.
I wanted to make it clear, there's no intent here to violate anybody's constitutional right to free speech. But there is a part in our policy that states whether it's irrelevant. And so I just wanted to put that in. Attorney Warco, did you see this?
I did not see it, but the public comment section is not for personal attacks on any of the trustees or the employees. So I think you're doing the right thing. But I have not seen it, but I trust from what everybody's saying that this is really not appropriate.
Oh, wait.
Thank you.
Can I be recognized?
Yes, trustee.
The reason why I'm making a comment in reference to this tonight is basically, I'm gonna say that this information is none of it is true. I will say that. And I will say that I've been dealing with being harassed for over a year. Some of the trustees know of things that have happened in the past, and this person has not let up. So I've been forced to contact the officials in reference to the constant harassment that's going on because it's getting worse. And my major concern is my grandchildren, because I am starting to be fearful for their well-being. And with it getting to this level, as an elected official, I cannot control what my children do, as none of us can, and who they choose and what they choose to do with. But what I can say is that my children have been upstanding citizens in this community since we moved in it in 2010. And for this individual to send all of this erroneous nonsense to the board is just crazy. And I have also videos in my possession where I have been threatened. My family has been threatened, and my father, and it is getting truly out of control. So I want this read into the record, and I want this in public notice that they have been notified. The authorities have been notified in reference to this individual's intentions on what she wants to do with this family and how she's going to do it. That is just some of the things that you've seen. You haven't even begun to see the things that has been sent to my home, to my children, and everyone else. So thank you guys for being understanding, and please keep us in your prayers because there is a need for prayer. And please remember that mental illness is real and it does exist. And this is taking on a whole nother life of itself. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. Is that the last comment, Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir.
All right. Great decision for the board, because no matter what our differences are, we're going to continue to protect each other. Okay. Item 518, discussion resolution and agreement with Coy's Towing Reentry Metro parking lot. And correct me if I'm wrong, Madam E, from what I'm understanding is that E and Ara was the responsible towing company prior to, but Coy's is our towing department, and we're just changing E and Ara to using our own towing department. Is that correct, Madam E?
Absolutely.
Okay. Any questions or comments regarding that? So board, with the advice and consent of the board, do we move this to the agenda for action?
Yeah, I was just asking one question.
Yeah, go ahead, trustee.
With Coy's, so yeah, and I guess it would probably don't need to be explained further unless someone didn't understand. That other company was there based upon the transportation district that was in charge of the the lot. Am I correct, Missy?
Yes.
Yeah. So this would not be just us picking somebody out the blue. The price is I just had a quick question. We don't do lockouts in.
Someone's phone's ringing.
Right. Madam Clerk told us about that.
It's not mine. It's
I know.
not-
I've been threatened about taking out that tree when I don't do right. Or
No,
about
go get
late.
Go get your
Okay.
own switch.
Right. She gonna get my own switch like the old days. Miss E, we don't do lockouts no more as police officers, right? They did away with that or what?
No, we don't do it.
Okay. So so actually all the fees, all these things, this would be just pretty much what they did on their own, or is it we had asked for extra service for what they do?
Yeah, we asked for it, and I think they did their pattern after some of the things that happened with the prior company.
Okay. And yeah, I see most of the prices I was checking, and this is actually about right with everybody. I don't have a problem with COIs at this time, unless anyone says different. I think it would be wise to keep it all in the family.
All right.
Oh, who would notify? I'm sorry. This would come in. Missy, you're familiar with this in Harvey. When they had the metro station, how are we going to do with the monitoring now? That is a good discussion that I think we would come up, because remember, you would have this station, because the lot is so big, and Harvey had 2 stations, like we have 2 stations. Are we talking about having a tenant up there to monitor and would deal with those situations right now, or is that something on the burner?
How about camera? How about cameras?
No, what we're doing, we're using a physical person in a village vehicle that will be monitoring both lots. And it's a former police officer that we're using. This police officer also deals with current traffic control. We're looking and talking to him about doing the additional monitoring, but we're working on that. We're working on all of that.
Okay, yeah, and just for the record, through my experience with municipal government, that's what was always done, and I think at this point, it in my opinion is a good way to go. I yield my time on this item.
So, with the advice and consent, is it the board's intention to move this forward for action for the 22nd?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Okay. Item 5.1B is something that I wanted to discuss with the board, because I do feel that there's going to be a new housing market. And it seems like as the world turns from gas and diesel to electric, I think it would be for us to just put something on paper that when new construction starts, that they have charging stations available for electric cars and vehicles. Same at the metro station.
Yeah, I agree, because, and I think you said this to everybody about that infrastructure.
Yes.
Bill, and in here it says with the electric vehicles that 7.5 billion is to build out the first ever national network of EV support. EV charges and support domestic manufacturing jobs in Illinois, including 1.149 million to expand the EV charging in Illinois. So it's inevitable that it's coming. So it's up for discussion now. It's something for us to think about with all the new construction and whatever else we're going to be doing over there. Mm-hmm. Just a thought, because I was reading through this with Sam.
So here's an opportunity for us to be proactive instead of reactive.
Because there will be grants as well. So it's something for us to look at.
Absolutely.
So it's let me get it. So Shirley, it would be like coming out for the part of the new infrastructure bill, or I kind of missed. I didn't see that part in the packet.
Yeah, in the new infrastructure bill, also along with the the pipes, with water pipes, and I got that as well. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be part of that infrastructure bill.
And,
Okay.
and Trustee Brooks, some municipalities on new construction have had this already in place, and they're also adding sprinkler systems. So, and the charging stations aren't really that expensive. I know it's going to be rolled over into the cost of the property, but that's going to be the wave of the future.
Will we be putting it at when you say charging station, would it be more at the metro station or throughout the village?
Throughout the village, the municipal facilities, the metro station, and a part of any new construction moving forward on new homes as well.
Oh, okay. So anything new?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because one of the companies that's coming in, I can't remember which one, had also, it might be that truck company, the truck stop company. They had mentioned that they were going to have the charging stations as well.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, because I believe in the next year or so that the federal government is going to mandate X amount of highway miles that there has to be mandatory electric charging stations. So, you know, we're on a new way we're going to do things. Yes, Trustee Franklin, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think it's a great idea. It's actually projected by 2030 that 50% of car sales will be electric. So it's important for us to be proactive and think ahead, right? And so that we can keep up with the time. So I think this is a great discussion, a great idea.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, James, I guess, is that the advice and consent of the board to have some kind of resolution moving forward for the action on the 22nd?
Yes.
Or do you need further information?
Well, I think when I spoke to Attorney Castaldo, he says that he has seen it in some other communities, so maybe he can get a template, and you know, we can discuss it and see how it can go.
Yeah, I'll talk to Michael and see what he's got on that, and we'll provide the board something.
All right, awesome.
Well, wouldn't it come naturally though, if someone's doing construction with it, or is it just that and I guess that the comprehension that what I was comprehending, say for instance, like our metro station, like would we receive money for it and then we could, you know, do construction to put it there? I thought that was more of like we're getting money to start it, because once again, like with the metro station, and I guess maybe when I seen this on the agenda, my mind was thinking, okay, we're about to do new construction at the metro station to put this in there. So that's what I was thinking until, you know, Shirley was, and you were mentioning that it was for new construction throughout the village. But one thing for sure is I personally feel that we're way behind at that metro station. And I mean, look, let's be real. I think it was just on TV. I think the whole Super Bowl commercials, I had half of them was like they were plugging in cars instead of putting gas pumping to the gas tank. So that was
Everything
the reason why right. That's what I thought this was more about, is that let's get started at the metro station. That was my
absolutely. And Trustee Brooks, actually, some of the vendors of those charging stations actually do pay municipalities to install them in their communities as well.
Okay, the vendors, like
the providers of the charging stations.
Oh, okay. Those who will be putting them in. Okay, so more than likely we would be getting someone who's saying, "Hey, we want to do this for University Park."
Yes, they're already knocking at the door, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, Miss E saying something here.
Let me just say this. I did a project of which a vendor actually purchased a strip of land in the midst of the development and actually built a charging station with 8 charging stations. I mean, normally the folk that do that will come to you. They will come to you and ask to buy land or whatever the case may be to build the charging station specifically, because they have to put in specific infrastructure and it has to be contiguous with all the other development around. In housing situations, the village is looking at a major housing developer right now that we've had a couple of conversations with, which means that there'll be tenants in this housing development, and they would themselves, if in fact the village had something in place, they would be required to proportionally build 1, 2, 3 charging stations, depending on the number of tenants in the facility. And it's looking multifamily. It just won't be apartments. It will be townhousing, seniors, single family. So it'll be a combination of different folk. So it depends on how the ordinance or the resolution is put together that would determine the options of developers to actually, but we won't ask anybody that's building a single family home to come in and build a charging station. We're
Right.
strictly
Okay.
talking about commercial entities. So the ordinance, once it's developed, is going to be very specific to those kinds of usages.
Okay, like if it's like a multi-family, let's make an example, like somewhat similar to like over by Brittany Woods. Well, not that we would build something that
Yeah.
high, something like that. They would have. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would be a design standard. So if you have a parking lot of so many lots, you have to have four charging stations.
Okay, got it.
That's my thought on it.
You're right, Jim. You're absolutely right.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And the last one will be a presentation and this. Oh, Madam Clerk, yes.
Are we moving this to the next agenda? Or?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Jim had to check with Costado
I thought we
about
had
it.
to get more information for it.
Yeah, and
Right.
yeah, I mean, personally, I feel that. I mean, I think if Costado is telling us yes, and we're already in agreement, then yeah, I think we can go ahead and just get it out the way, unless it's something that in details. Because I mean, it sounds like standard, like this is something that's becoming standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're moving away from the Flintstones and receiving the Jetsons. That's what we're doing.
Look, I hope I don't get penalized for it, but I love my Tahoe gas 2005.
Hey, you're gonna have an antique vehicle that you can put into the car shows. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know, because it's getting that old. It is. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Can't play on my TV with it.
And next thing, we're gonna start having to look at drones. We're gonna have to look at cameras around our parks, around our truck stops, and around all the places. We got a lot of work to do, guys. And I'd like to say thank you to Trustee McFadden. I am going to be entertaining Mr. Tom Fagan from Avazar on behalf of Trustee McFadden. This is a person that her and Trustee Lewis had the opportunity to have discussion at IML. So thank you, Trustee McFadden, and any trustee who wants to bring a presentation. I'm really glad to do it. So Miss Neva, please bring them in. This is our last item of the night.
Well,
You really mean that?
Pardon me?
You really mean that?
Okay, play nice. Play nice.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yes, sir. Listen, the world is looking at University Park, and we don't want to project anything but positive, motivated force moving forward. We've got too much to jeopardize and a great future for our people coming behind us. So,
Okay.
Ms. Neva, bring Mr. Fagan in, please, from the Avazar Company.
Okay, it doesn't appear that he's in the waiting room. Wait, here we go.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna get on.
Here we go. One standby.
Oh, Tom.
Yes.
Yeah, I know Tom. Yeah.
How is everybody?
Hello,
Hey,
Tom.
You
We
look
meet-
different on video now.
Do I? Come on, Theo. Yes,
I can't see
All right,
you.
good to
I'm
see you,
here.
brother.
I'm
Good
here.
to see you.
Well, I'm gonna make it as short. Okay. Yes, you do.
It's on you, Tom.
Oh, he is you're gonna have to turn your YouTube down in order.
I did.
Okay,
I
there.
did.
All right. He's in delay. He was on delay a little bit.
I was on delay. Nice to see you all. I will make this quick and painless as possible for you. Some of you have seen me before presenting at Village Hall. a couple of years ago. Third time's a charm, I hope. I'm going to do a short little presentation regarding my company. And if you have questions during it, please feel free to interrupt me. I like answering questions right when they come to your head. I'm from Azavar Government Solutions. We are a company that's been around for 25 years in the Chicagoland area and have done these revenue reviews for over 300 municipalities in Illinois, including Glenwood, Sauk Village, Ford Heights, Harvey, Linwood, Matheson. They've all signed up with me. We are very, very proud of what we've done and have found probably close to $250 million across the state in miscodings. And I'll explain that in detail in a moment. But these are referenceable clients that we have found money for in different areas. So I'm just going to bring up, I'm not able to share my screen though. It says host disabled participant sharing, screen sharing.
1 second.
Okay, great.
There you go.
And first of all, I'd like to thank Ms. McFadden for getting me all signed up and being able to present to you.
You're welcome.
So, okay. Everybody sees, does everybody see my
Mm-hmm.
it says maximizing revenues? Does everybody see my screen or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
Yes.
So we do maximize your revenues without impacting your budget. We have a contingency fee model contract that we help municipalities find revenues in areas of electric, gas, hotel, motel, short-term rentals, which is a real hot topic. People rent out their homes, VRBO, to make sure that if you don't have an ordinance regarding that, we will help you with that. That's one of the things we do. We also find money that Illinois Department of Revenue in sales tax does not allocate the correct businesses to, in this case, University Park. If they're allocated to another village, you get that money back. We're able to go back 6 months for Illinois Department of Revenue, but for back taxes, for like Comcast, ComEd, NICOR, depending on your tax bill payer bill of rights and your ordinances, we can go back 3 to 4 years when addresses are miscoded incorrectly. And that means that the utility provider is coding it by USPS postal address and not to what the geocode should be, or they aren't calculating the gross operating revenue in regards to the monies that should be given to you in that area for right of ways. So that's some of the examples of monies we found. In Matheson, we found $42,000 of revenue where AT&T on the payable side didn't have enough exemptions on the bill. So we're able to give that money back in back tax revenue. We've started to do Comcast reconciliation so that we're getting back tax money into the hands of the municipalities that we're working with as well. So, you know, we come with the compliance audits and the best practice ordinances in a lot of cases from across the country and a lot in Illinois, as this is our home state and we are the only sole source in the state doing this. And then ultimately, other avenues that we do are online tax and fee administration, where we have a platform by which municipalities like Joliet uses us to collect all their taxes and streamlines the process. But in this case, what we're talking about and what I've talked with Mayor Rudez about is doing these revenue reviews, which cost nothing. We ask for a specific percentage. It's normally 55% for the municipality, 45% for Azavar. We're assuming the risk in the proposition. We do all the work behind the scenes. The municipal staff It's a little work to do. We're giving updates every 90 days as to where we are in the revenue reviews. So we're giving updates every 90 days so that you know where we're at. We also give verification memos in each stream of revenue that we do. So everybody knows on the board what we've done between ComEd and us, or NICOR and us, or Illinois Department of Revenue and us. Any questions so far?
Not yet.
Okay, great. So the compliance audits to the left here deal with gas, electric, telecom, cable franchise fees. If I could talk about cable franchise fees for a minute, our prime case is in Springfield, Illinois. We wouldn't be able to talk about it, but if you Googled as of our in Springfield, you'll see that we found them $960,000 of miscalculated gross operating revenue from Comcast. And that was one of our big findings. And so, like I said, we're starting to get, since we knocked that bowling pin down, other municipalities are now getting their share of the pie. Obviously, it all depends on population, size, how many actual people you have that are using the service. Lodging and short-term rental, and sales tax and use tax. So this is an example of a main street in Illinois on the left here. All these darker colored dots were a main street in Illinois, of which the utility provider miscoded it, wrong zip code, coded it as unincorporated or belonging to another municipality. There was a case down in the O'Fallon area where Ameren, different provider, miscoded, a majority of the municipality. So we have GIS software that we came up with 25 years ago that identifies the anomalies with precision and ease. The company was started by Jason Perry. His father, John Perry, was a village manager in Park Forest, right in our neck of the woods. I live in Oak Forest, so I feel like I'm a South lander. And so that's where it started. He was really glad as a village manager to get this money in every month and get a check, but he would get the check and go, there's nothing behind it. I don't know what I don't know in regards to what I'm getting from the utility provider. And so in being able to do it on contingency, if we don't find anything, it doesn't cost anything. All we want to do is share that for a 36-month period at that percentage I talked about. And if there's back taxes to go after, we do that as well. I'll stop one more time. Are we still okay?
Yep.
We also use our attorneys as part of our contingency package. We don't want to embroil your attorney in these negotiations. They've done it a lot. If you like your attorney in there to review documents, that's great. But our attorneys, as part of our contingency fee, they help us negotiate the settlements. This is Linda Moore in Quincy, Illinois. Probably became one of my best friends in the last 3 years. She did the whole, I call the 360 enchilada. She did the audits. Quincy installed a food and beverage tax, and we did the baseline audit. And now we collect their food and beverage and hotel tax online for them. And she feels like, doing the whole program brought money to the bottom line faster, went right into the bank account, not dealing with checks and everything being sent, and your constituents being able to actually do business with you 24/7. So when you work with us, number one, you maximize your revenues. You eliminate the risk because we're taking on the risk in the proposition. We don't know what we don't know. I could say you're a 15 or 20,000 person municipality. I can't say you're going to get this X amount back. It all depends on how well the utility providers and IDOR have coded what's in your municipality. I will say there was a large finding over in Ford Heights with IDOR miscoding some businesses. So we got that money back. We improved in regards to local gov, it improves your efficiency of your staff, saves time, money, costs of doing business, doing mailings. But that might be a thing that's down the road as we, finish up the audits. The audits usually take in each area probably 18 to 24 months because we're dealing with different providers. So they have a specific amount of time they can, after we send out the non-disclosure agreement, the letter of agency, to get the information back from them. Then we can start the audit. We do get initial documents from University Park, like ordinances, statutes, some bills, a water billing list, and basically signing those initial documents, and we're off and running doing our audit. And so in specific, IDOR, we usually start to see results in about 6 months from our audit in that area. And then the other ones, usually within another 6 months, those results start to trickle in as well. So that, and this is as of our team, Jason Perry, like I said, his father was in Park Forest and finished up in Woodridge. He was in Park Forest for a good 20 years. And that's just information about us. And that is it. I hope that was quick and painless for you.
Yes, it was.
Good. Are there any questions that I can answer? I know some of you have heard this spiel before. So I would think that some of you kind of recollect when I was presenting before.
Madam Clerk.
Just had a question on the presentation itself, your flashcards. Could you send to me? And then you got it. Okay.
I will send you the PowerPoint presentation.
Thank you.
Can you, can I get your email address?
Yes.
Okay. You could just put it in the chat and then I'll immediately send it to you.
Okay.
Thanks, Clerk Jones. Hi, Ernestine.
How are you?
Good.
I wanted to bring out a couple of things about this presentation. 2 things. The fact that it will go 36 months, and the other is no cost to the village. I think that's crucial, no cost to the village. If they don't find anything, we don't get anything, and we don't have to pay for anything. So it's really, as I've said before, it's a no-lose kind of situation. So I know it's the board exclusive decision, but as I said before, this would be a good thing for us. It won't hurt.
It's peace of mind for you as well as trustees to say you've looked under every rock and stone for the community, to say we've looked to see if there's revenue that we're missing out on. We also work with Ernestine to do the intake. So we actually come to the municipality for any documents we need. We don't want to tax a municipality with doing busy work of pulling ordinances and things like that. We do a lot of the legwork ourselves.
So, Trustee Brooks, were you saying coming in?
Yeah, I was gonna say this would be the 3rd time I've heard from Tom. So this would be the 3rd. I heard from him back in 2017. I heard from him. The mayor came in, and that's the 2nd board, and this board. So I'll just say this much: I thought that I'm not mistaken. I think we were entertaining it. But I think that was close to the end of the last board. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was right. Yeah, I think every time he came in was towards the end of the last. Here's the best thing: he got this board that's a fresh board. I personally thought that Tom should have been in 3. Well, this is his 3rd one, so yeah, the first time around. I will concur with Miss E. He is correct on this. This doesn't cost us a dime. To go find every dime that the village can get. I guess that's the best way to put it. Don't steal my slogan, Tom. Yeah, this
I'm writing it down. I'm writing it down.
right. So it won't cost us a dime to find every dime for the Village of University Park. So I'm for this, especially this go around, because definitely one thing for sure. I honestly thought at least he was in there. Well, at least when he came the second time, I think it was towards the end of the last board as well. But now I think we will see some results on this one. That's just my opinion.
My motto is it's not if, it's when. So
Right.
And
Right.
Theo, the third time is the charm.
Yes. Yes. So Tom, you got the charm from me, at least.
Thank you, Theo.
All right.
And any other questions? Trustee Franklin?
I'll just say it's a no-brainer. I don't need no further discussion need to happen. What we waiting on?
Okay, so with the advice and consent, we'll move this to the agenda for action on the 22nd.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you very much, Mr. Fagan.
Thank you. And I believe, Ernestine, you have the agreement, right? Or do I?
Yes.
Yes, you're good.
you
Okay.
can send it again and make sure that you haven't changed anything.
I promise. Miss Jones, your email again, real quick. You're on mute.
It's D Jones. Oh, go on.
Yeah.
D
Okay,
Jones.
it's at university-park-il.com.
Okay, great. I will send that over and I'll put Ernestine on there as well. So thank you again, Mayor Rudez, for the third time's the charm. So
Well, listen, I must say
Take care,
thank you to
Tom.
Trustee McFadden for doing her homework and bringing something good to the community. Thank you so much, Trustee McFadden.
Thank
With-
you.
Trustee,
Is there a motion to adjourn?
so move.
Trustee
No,
Brooks?
no,
Oh,
we
okay,
have
okay,
announcements.
yes, yes, okay.
Oh, my-
No.
Yes.
What kind of announcement?
Okay,
Somebody have
University
the
Park.
Please.
Hey,
Somebody not on mute.
Right.
Okay, Trustee Lewis, I am so sorry.
Yes, so on Saturday, February 19th, Senator Joyce and Mayor Rudez is having a COVID shot drive. It's only for boosters only, and adults only. That's February 19th, this Saturday. Senator Patrick Joyce and Mayor Rudez spirit this up, and that will be happening this weekend.
is that at the town center?
That's at 90 Town Center. That is correct.
And
What
the
time?
time,
What time?
Hold on. My
Okay.
little camera done froze. My little screen froze. The time is 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay.
And the booster shots will be Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson.
And you say adults only?
Adults only.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty, hold on one second. Got one more. I don't know why my phone does this when you go in and you spread it out. Okay, never mind. Got it. I got it. One more
I'll
announcement,
do that.
people, before we get up out of here.
Okay.
Also, Mayor Rudez, Joseph Rudez, Village Clerk, Board of Trustees, with the Mayor's Office of Special Events, celebrating Black History Month electronic learning tools giveaway while supplies last. This will be on Saturday, February 26th, from kindergarten to 8th grade. The time is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. 90 Town Center is the location. This is for University Park residents only. They must register at www.university-park-il.com. www.untitled.com. Proof of residency is required. Registration deadline is Wednesday, February the 23rd. Social distancing is required. All vaccine and unvaccinated people must wear a mask on this day. That's February 26th, electronic giveaway with the Mayor's Office of Special Event and the mayor and the board.
Thank you. That's a great event, and prayerfully it will help some of the young people in the community who don't have access to internet. So this will be something that we're giving back to our community. Thank you.
I want to say I'm glad this is another avenue of getting the communication out to the residents. Good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another way of communicating.
Miss E got one more statement before I adjourn.
Mayor, yes, there is a mega hiring event that's going on February the 24th. And it's going to be at the Victory Apostolic Church in Madison, Illinois. And that's 20801 Madison Avenue, over by Panera in that drive over there. But anyway, what's going to happen is Amazon is going to be on site. We're going to have employers. We're going to have it's going to be an expungement clinic with people with stuff on their records that needs to be expunged. There are going to be folks there to show them the process and, or in some instances, directly help them with that. There'll be, again, a vaccination station, and there's going to be food there. There are going to be 200 plus jobs that's going to be available on the 24th that they're looking to fill. They're going to start at $14 and be as high as $37. Also, it's going to be advertised for free training for forklifts. And most of the facilities now have the forklifts, and you get free training for the forklifts. And there'll also be training for CNAs, certified nursing programs for folk. And also we're looking, they're ready. I mean, they're going to be out there, and we're just encouraging everybody in the south suburbs to make sure that they go to Victory Apostolic Church on February 24th, Mayor. That's it.
What time?
Also, wait.
Go ahead, Madam Clerk.
No, I was asking what time.
What time?
Oh,
The time.
it's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Oh, wonderful.
10 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'm sorry, I thought I. Okay, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Okay.
Trustee Jenkins.
I also wanted to announce we have an indoor baseball clinic. It will be held every Tuesday and Thursday at Faith Movers, who's supporting our baseball team. Thank you, Pastor Moses. Thank you. And it will be between the hours of, it started today, so it'll be between the hours of 4 o'clock and 5:30 p.m. And it's a $5 fee per day. They'll be learning hitting, batting, fielding, catching, strengthening, exercising. It's really nice. I went today. It was really wonderful. The children had a good time. We have Coach Greg Barksdale and also Coach David Savier and others helping us. So it's really nice. And we want to thank Faith Movers for supporting us in this effort. And we have another big thing coming up soon, and it'll be an announcement later on. We're so excited about it.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Is that it from everybody?
Is that it? Okay.
No, I got one more thing, Theo.
One more?
Just kidding with you.
Anyway, she crazy.
All right. Wait, can I get a motion for adjournment?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
None. Good night,
None.
everyone.
Good
God bless.
night.
Everyone.